Welcome to the Echo Tips podcast.
Here's a sneak peek into what we're going to cover in this week's episode of the Echo Tips podcast.
Ahoy, me hearty. Ye be asking this humble pirate assistant to speak like a scallywag of the high seas, so that be what ye shall get. I be sailing the digital seas, searching for the most famous landlubbers from the Star Trek franchise. The likes of William Shatner, Patrick Stewart, and the late great Leonard Nimoy have all left their mark on the world of space exploration.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Echo Tips podcast. It's good to have you all with us this week, you returning listeners and you new listeners as well. And for you new ones, we'll mention what the show is all a little about here in just a little bit. But this topic for our discussion this week, relating to our Amazon Echo and our favorite A-Lady, is going to be connected with a skill, a third-party skill, that uses the Claude AI assistant or AI engine. And so in past episodes, we've talked about how Claude, according to, I believe, rumors from Reuters, 5 different, people they interviewed who didn't want to be named on the record because they probably would lose their jobs from Amazon, had said that Amazon already had a financial relationship, which we've read documentation about before, and that they had decided to change out their AI innovations on the back end for the A-Lady for the Claude AI engine. So that is a long way to say that in October, we're very likely, October, November, here's hoping, we'll hear an announcement from Amazon about the new, remarkable AI-infused A-Lady. Really what it can do. What it could do in the future, maybe, how much it's going to cost, all those sorts of things. And the back-end tooling, the gears that are going to be meshing together to make that work on the back end, according to Reuters, is going to be that Claude AI from a separate company known as Anthropic. And so I want to bring that out to you. I did do a demo. You may go back and check a past episode where we showed a clip from a YouTuber who actually kind of set it up because he was a coder, talking back and forth to the Claude engine and what that might have sounded like. But today we're actually going to play with it a little bit ourselves. And I could swear that I looked for this before because I wanted to bring this to your guys' attention before, but I don't think I could find anything to do with Claude or Anthropic inside the A-Lady Skills store. So if you go to Amazon.com and then you change your search from like what department, whether it's men's shoes, women's clothing, whatever it is, you change it to A-Lady Skills, then you can actually search the entire skills store. And I typed in Claude, C-L-A-U-D-E. I typed in Anthropic. I didn't get nothing. I'm pretty sure before. Maybe I was having an off day, but I did find it now. And so we're going to be taking a look at that skill and just, poke it with a stick and see what happens. So maybe it'll give a little bit of insight into what we may be anticipating here with the Amazon announcement. Okay, so before we delve into that content in any sort of depth, I want to say to our new listeners, once again, welcome to the show. We are in our 7th season of the Echo Tips podcast, and I am the host. My name is David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill, based here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Southwest Virginia. We're a weekly podcast, and we generally put out our new episodes usually every Wednesday or Thursday every week. And we have 6 seasons of over 300 episodes in our back catalog. So by all means, go back and check out. Now you may say, what will I find in that repository, in that treasure chest? Well, we have covered so much. Hardware releases, home automation, skills, games, playing music, audiobooks, video content. We've talked about all sorts of different types of use cases for just an individual using it in their home, to seniors, caregivers, parents, young children. There's even like a kids edition of the Amazon Echo Dot. And so we've talked about a whole swath of things. And if you have a question or a thought, by all means, go back and check out our back catalog. And in fact, if I remember, I'll even mention you a way you can go find a quick simple listing of that. I probably need to update it, but a listing of several hundred of those episodes, so you can just easily go down and peruse the list. Okay, well, before I delve into this content in any sort of depth, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then, as always, we will be right back.
This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. And we thank you for listening. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision.
Well, hello again, and welcome back to the show. It's good to have you all with us, as I said earlier, and as I stated, we're going to be dealing with a third-party skill that utilizes, engages with the Claude AI from Anthropic, which is the rumored new AI that's going to be the tooling behind the A-Lady of the future that Amazon will be hopefully releasing here soon, or announcing, and all that kind of good stuff. At least as rumors have it, as reported by Reuters and other outlets, I believe. Okay, so, and like I said, we covered this back in a past episode, kind of like a clip from a YouTuber, but this is going to be different because we actually get to engage with it. And since this is a skill that's on the store, available to the United Kingdom and the United States, I don't remember if Canada was listed, but it clearly listed English GB for Great Britain and English America. I don't remember Canada, but at least many of you can try this out anyway. And and like I said, I don't know, once this actually gets released, whether this kind of skill will have any kind of utility. And we're going to be playing with the free edition, like the free just trial edition. There is a pro edition where you can pay $2.99 a month to basically have more advanced, responsive, ask more questions version of the Claude thing, which I don't think it's probably too bad. It's not much different than some of the AIs we've played with in the past year or so, like Oracle of Light and different things like that. If anything, I think it's probably a little cheaper, to be honest. So, but anywho, so that's neither here nor there. We're going to delve right into it. So the name of this skill is Claude Assistant. Now, I tried to invoke it by just saying Claude Assistant. I had mixed results in that, so I would say often Claude Assistant skill. So just FYI in that. Now, I'm using the Echo I have here in the studio, and presently is set to the wake word Ziggy with a male voice. So unless you have a Echo in your hearing distance that uses Ziggy as a response word, which I probably just triggered, I'm sorry if you do, you may want to shut its ears off, pause the podcast, and come back. But otherwise, I think most of our users are using the A-Lady name. So, and I just happen to have this one here set up already, ready to go. Okay, so let's delve right in. And, I got to think, what do I want to ask it? Okay, well, anyway, we'll just probe the waters and see what happens. Oh, I will mention Claude, if you didn't get a chance to see that last episode, is what is called a constitutional AI. Now, I don't know if that's really just a branding used by Anthropic, if it's used across the industry, but one of the things that it's known for, in addition to what Reuters said about it being more responsive than the in-house AI that was developed by Amazon, is a constitutional AI has certain set down kind of fundamentals about, maybe, telling you how to do something harmful, or mislabeling a truth, a falsehood as a truth, or things like that. And I'm sure it's still going to have problems, but it's supposed to be laid down firmly in the architecture more to kind of prevent that, which I think, may even make it a better fit for Amazon using it as the new A-Lady backend. Okay, I'm rambling. Let's go straight into this. Ziggy, open Claude Assistant skill.
Welcome to Claude Assistant.
Aha.
How can I assist you today?
Help?
You can ask me any question and I'll try to answer it using AI. Our conversation will maintain context, so feel free to ask follow-up questions. What would you like to know?
Give me 3 of the most popular actors from the Star Trek franchise over the last 50 years, their names, ages, and heights.
Certainly. Here are 3 of the most popular actors from the Star Trek franchise over the last 50 years. 1. William Shatner, Captain James T. Kirk, age, 91 years old, born on March 22, 1931, height, 5 feet 9 inches, 175 centimeters 2. Patrick Stewart, Captain Jean-Luc Picard, age, 82 years old, born on July 13, 1940, height, 6 feet 0 inches, 183 centimeters 3. Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock, age, passed away in 2015 at the age of 83, born on March 26, 1931, height, 5 feet 11 inches, 180 centimeters. Do you have any other questions? Feel free to ask.
Can you start talking to me like a pirate?
Clears throat and speaks with a gruff, pirate-like accent. Ahoy, me hearty. Ye be asking this humble pirate assistant to speak like a scallywag of the high seas, so that be what ye shall get. I be sailing the digital seas, searching for the most famous landlubbers from the Star Trek franchise. The likes of William Shatner, Patrick Stewart, and the late great Leonard Nimoy have all left their mark on the world of space exploration. Shatner, the captain of the mighty Enterprise, be 91 years young and standing tall at 5 feet and 9 inches. Stewart, the noble Picard, be 82 years old and towers over us at 6 feet even. And Nimoy, the logical Vulcan Spock, sailed to the great beyond at 83 years old, measuring 5 feet 11 inches. These be the scurvy dogs that have captured the hearts of Trekkies everywhere, me hearty. Now, what be your next request for this pirate assistant? Do you have any other questions? Feel free to ask.
Do you know anything about the Echo Tips podcast from New Vision at Goodwill with the host David Ward?
Clears throat and speaks in a more professional tone. I'm afraid I don't have any specific information about the Echo Tips podcast from New Vision at Goodwill with host David Ward. As an AI assistant, I don't have detailed knowledge about individual podcasts or local community programs. My knowledge is limited to more general information that is widely available online. I don't have any insider details or behind-the-scenes knowledge about this particular podcast or its host. I apologize that I cannot provide more details, as I don't have access to that level of specific information in my database. Please let me know if there is anything else I can try to assist with within the scope of my general knowledge. Do you have any other questions? Feel free to ask.
Exit. Okay, all right. Well, that'll give us a little insight into the Claude AI, and this is a third party. I think it's DLG or something. No direct correlation to Anthropic. It's just they created a skill that draws on Claude, and so maybe a little bit of insight, something you could play with. Now, I did notice a a review on that only had one review, and I was trying to find the date and timestamp for when it was released, because like I said before, I could swear it wasn't available earlier, but I couldn't seem to find anything. But the one review I saw said something like, it can't control my home automation, and it won't do anything with my calendar, or something like that, and something like that. So obviously the person doesn't understand the limitations of skills. They don't have that capability. Even the beta test that we had with the Amazon skill was particularly siloed in such a way that it couldn't interact with other core features of the AI lady. Now, obviously, when we hopefully see the real deal released from Amazon, hopefully we'll see some of those guardrails come off. And really, I think that's what we're kind of really is an unknown, I think, to us, is just, the AIs can verbalize and really do some awesome verbal gymnastics. Create a poem, pull information, synthesize something, tell a story. Here with Claude, interestingly enough, even the free version, I'm pretty sure there, and you could kind of tell, had the ability to retain a certain level of context awareness, which you may remember when we played with Oracle Lite and some of, I think, the other AI engines. That was usually an upsell. You usually had to pay money before. It was context aware or would retain what you had been talking about. And so I think that's kind of a neat little trick with the Claude AI, is they kind of throw that in there as a freebie. I haven't experienced it or played with it a lot. I ask a lot of questions and then see if it still retains that. My general impression from reading the listing is that it probably retains some of that stuff for the day. Or maybe it's the single interaction that you have with it. But anywho, very interesting. So by all means, play with that. That is Claude Assistant. Like I said, didn't have much success just launching it saying Claude Assistant. You might want to try Claude Assistant Skill. All right, well, that will bring this show to a close. Okay, I did want to mention that we do have some news that I want to share with you all, and so I'm going to read a letter about the New Vision program, which oversees the Echo Tips podcast and another podcast we do, Next Gen Access. So I'm first going to read that commentary, that letter, or have it read to us by an AI here, and or a other text-to-speech engine, and then we will be right back. In fact, actually, I'm going to have it read to you with a synthesized version of my own voice. I was playing with the built-in tool in iOS products where it can clone your voice. If you were to, say, have a disease or a disability that was causing you to lose your voice, it's the ability inside accessibility tools to clone your voice so that even after you lose your voice, you could continue to have your phone maybe relate information in your own personal voice. But for our purposes, I'm going to use this synthesized voice, which may give you some food for thought also about our A Lady of the future, what's possible. But I'm going to use my own synthesized voice to read this letter. So let's go to that now. On behalf of Goodwill and the New Vision program, we would like to extend our sincere appreciation for your unwavering support over the years for our services and programs dedicated to the blind and vision impaired community BVI. For our clients and students, we are grateful to have been part of your journey to achieve independence, empowerment, and skills that will serve you for years to come. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys has made the challenging decision to focus on our core competencies that can be scaled throughout our territory. Consequently, we have decided to discontinue the New Vision program by the end of the 2024. Goodwill's leadership is actively seeking community partners to take over New Vision services, either in whole or in part, to ensure continued support for the BVI community in our region. We will keep you updated on new developments and information as we transition through this change. Your continued engagement and support are invaluable to us, and we're committed to maintaining open communication throughout this process. Thank you once again for your time and support. Well, guys, that's a bit of a Debbie Downer to kind of end the program on, since the Echo Tips is under the New Vision program's oversight, along with our other podcast, the Next Gen Access podcast. So, as spoken or mentioned there in that letter, we are going to continue the podcast at least through the end of the year, the Echo Tips podcast. And as mentioned, Goodwill leadership is looking for partners to take over the New Vision program's services and different aspects of our program, including possibly the podcast as well. Now, there's a chance, if such a thing was not to be found, we might be able to continue the podcast anyway. But the aforementioned episodes, past 6 seasons, including the 7th season, over 300 episodes, is still, I don't anticipate going anywhere. It'll still be on Anchor and available to listen to. And as I mentioned at the fourth set of the show, you can actually find a listing of that off my personal website, certdoctor.com, and then go to blog, and you can find a big old honking listing of all those different past episodes, which is sometimes kind of hard, to go back 300 episodes. But we're hoping to continue, especially like I mentioned, we'll be going through the end of the year, cover some AI goodness, and hopefully as it's announced from Amazon. But perhaps most importantly, and we did mention, you may recall way back that we were going to get another grant to continue the program all the way through August of 2024. But due to some changes, as mentioned there in the letter, we returned those monies and as mentioned, there's going to be some changes taking place. So, most importantly, we serve the community, and we would love to hear y'all's feedback about our show, the Echo Tips Podcast, what you've benefited from over these years, your thoughts and feedback about maybe some things you'd like to hear us cover by the end of the year, different things like that. And we'd just love to hear your feedback. And you can do so at info@goodwillvalleys.com via email. Just, in the subject line, mention it's about the Echo Tips Podcast or the New Vision program. You can also reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter, now known as X. And in a similar vein, you can mention Goodwill Industries of the Valleys. That way it comes to Goodwill. And maybe somewhere in the message mention the New Vision program or the Echo Tips podcast. And that way it's earmarked in such a way that I get aware of it as well. But it's been a pleasure helping us all learning these things together. The trials, the tribulations, the cool nuances, and the things ahead are really exciting. I have to say, I haven't been so excited about what the Echo is capable of, or voice assistants. These AI infusions are really going to give it a shot in the arm, and so I'm very excited to see what we maybe can cover by the end of the year. But as we've said over these many, many seasons, and I will say yet again, it's time to turn the ears back on your Echo, start practicing some of the many, many things that you've learned. I'm David Ward from the New Vision program, and we do thank you for listening.
This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. And we thank you for listening. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision.